Thomas here with Much Props, going to give you another how-to video. Today I am building something absolutely massive. This will be my biggest prop build ever. Last week I celebrated my 600th video here on YouTube, and I wanted this build to be it because it would have come full circle. My first video I ever uploaded on my channel was a massive elephant skull that I built for our band to do halftime performances with, and this year they are doing The Lion King again and asked me to build something else. I think I may have bit off more than I can chew. Today I am building Pride Rock from The Lion King over a 16-foot ramp by 8-foot ramp. Yeah, and I have no idea where to start. Let's get to building. Well, I guess this video is going to make me touch grass, as the kids say. Lots of spiders, sun, and heat right now in East Texas, and the first thing that I need to do is get some measurements of the ramp. Technically, this is only half of it. There is another 4-foot platform and 2 ramp pieces that go right beside this one. The band director at my school drove these over to my house, and I was pleased to see that they have wheels on them, which makes it super easy to move around. My school band director has created a pretty amazing band program at our school and has been killing it at competitions, halftime shows, and UIL events for quite a while. So when she asked if I could up the production value of their Lion King theme this year, I said of course, and volunteered my services free of charge. Band bought most of the initial supplies, and I ended up spending a few $100s for bits I needed here and there that I didn't account for in my supply list. Now, when I said I don't know where to start, I may have been exaggerating a little bit. My teenage years were spent working in my uncle's cabinet shop, and I've helped my stepdad build several houses over the past couple of years, so I do have some basic carpentry and construction skills, a jack of all trades and a master of none. I'm starting with a blueprint of sorts, sketching out the ramp itself with the dimensions I just got as a reference. Then I wanted to draw over the top of my sketch with what the basic structure of Pride Rock should look like. Now, there's the old school one that I remember watching in every junior high class back in 1994, and there's the realistic live action version from 2019. I'm not trying to infringe on any Disney copyright over a formation of a rock, so mine will be within the realms of recognizable. I'm thinking it'll be done in 4 pieces with plywood and 2x4s as the base structure for the XPS insulation foam that I'm going to add to the top to carve the rock texture. I made a guesstimate of what I need, and I think I got fairly close with the plywood and foam. I ended up having to go back to the home improvement store for more 2x4 screws that I somehow forgot to put on my list, and spray building adhesive that I saw somebody on YouTube use recently that I wanted to try. I'm not sure if any of this will work or hold up for a competition season, but we are going to give it a go regardless. I don't know how niche of a market there is for people building 20-foot long Pride rocks for ramps, but if you're interested in the supply list for this build with a rough estimate of costs, I can leave it down in the description or message it to you. This entire build must be removable from the ramp frame, securely lock on for safety, be easy to assemble by high school students, be durable enough for their performance, and be transportable. A very tall order, so fingers crossed I don't totally mess this thing up. You can tell that I'm not used to moving my camera a lot for different angles. In my studio, it hovers about an inch or two from my forehead with the use of a swinging camera mount that's bolted to the wall. None of these cuts on the plywood have to be straight because most of them are going to get covered with the XPS insulation foam board later, so I'm just going to use a jigsaw. I am also doing all this work by myself. I would highly recommend having a buddy help you to do some of the work like this so that you're not having to try and hold half a piece of half-inch thick plywood from falling, or at the very least be smart enough to brace it on the other side of your material with a table or a sawhorse. I was already committed halfway through the cut before I thought about it, and I just sent it. I at least clamped my kept piece down on my work surface. Hooray. This 2x4 will sit on the ledge of my ramp. Like I said, I don't know how helpful or necessary this build is for instructional purposes, and I am by no means an expert or the safety police, but I'm sure someone will be trolling in the comments letting me know how I'm using all these tools incorrectly or unsafely or whatever. When using power tools, follow all the safety protocols you can. Keeping your fingers clear of blades is always a good practice, and safety goggles as well as ear protection are a must. You'll see me wearing mine for most of the video. For parts of my overhang, my structure was a basic framing construction, trying to make it as rigid as I possibly could while still keeping the structure light as possible. I'm putting in more screws than probably necessary. I used these gate latches on all the sides coming in contact with the metal grate to help lock the panels in. There are also L brackets that I made out of some 2x4s on the underside to lock on the vertical square metal frame of the ramp. I am now using my initial sketch as a reference to help me freehand the design on the front. Then I'm using my jigsaw to cut it out. Everything is latched in when I start, and I quickly realize that I need to pull it away as I'm cutting so my blade doesn't hit the metal frame. These pieces probably weigh around 50 to 100 pounds each, and they're a little difficult to maneuver at this point. Cutting it in place with just slight movement is definitely helping. It's been a while since I've spent this many consecutive days days in 90 plus degree weather outside in the elements, and yeah, it's taken its toll. I should have weighed myself before I started this project to see how much weight I've lost during it. I am starting to feel it in my hands and my arms the further into the week I go. By Friday, I'm struggling to keep it going. I'm making sure to drink plenty of water, and every night I'm soaking in Epsom salt at the end of the day. Normally, I would recommend an outboard table, but once again, I'm throwing caution to the wind. You definitely should not do this. I would not recommend it because, as this plywood is a little bit bowed, the weight increases on the cut side. By the end, it starts to lift off of the saw blade, and that's not good. You're talking kickback, none of those things you want with a fast blade propelling towards you. This 1/2 inch plywood will mostly just increase the surface area for my foam and hopefully make my structure a little more rigid. Every day I tear down the assembly and store it under the carport. Weather in Texas is a bit unpredictable, and the last thing that I need is for it to be rained on. You'll also notice the arrival of a trash can because stupid me said to only bring half the ramp to the band director, and I now need something to support the cantilevered front end that is hanging 4 foot off the side. Just so happens that my spare trash bin is almost the perfect height. I clamp it to every direction I can on the metal frame when I'm working on the front. I'm working on a quick way to latch the front end on the opposite side temporarily from the middle. My build only has to cover the front side and the side of the ramp that will be pointed towards the home crowd during competitions. I still need to work this out for a quick connection during assembly that will be easy for the kids to put on or take off. For now, clamping a temporary chain and a carabiner will suffice while I work on it. With all the wood structure completed, now I am adding the XPS insulation foam. Unfortunately, my local home improvement store doesn't carry the 2-inch thick stuff, so I had to settle for 1/2 inch. Just means more gluing. To hold it to the plywood initially, I had thought about using liquid nail caulking, but that seemed like a lot of waiting around time and the application's a bit messy. Then I saw a build by Bob from I Like to Make Stuff where he used some 3M90 spray. I've got 77 and I also have Gorilla Glue adhesive, but I know that stuff eats through foam, which so does 3M90. However, it only slightly does, and the melting seems to weld the foam to itself pretty good. I spray it on the wood and then to the foam and smack it together. To further secure my first layer of foam to the wood, I added screws with washers to hold it down so that it's got a mechanical connection and not just a chemical one. The foam to foam melts the 2 layers pretty good, so I'm not worried there. With all the foam built up on the sides, today I begin carving the main face of Pride Rock. Even a sharp blade leaves pretty rough cuts through the foam after one pull. So to clean it up, I knocked back some of the rough edges with a quick hit on the surface with a small handheld blowtorch. It hardens the outside layer of the foam, and my bet is that the paint will soak in a lot less because the pores are closed up. Like I said in the previous clip, the 3M does eat at the foam, and what I noticed on my offcuts was that it made a pretty cool little pocked texture that I think I could use to make a cool porous rock texture. I sprayed a little controlled streaks of the adhesive following the contours of the carving, and this was as far as I could get for this week. Part 2, I will finish up the front, make the lower rock that lays on the ground, paint it, and finalize all the latching and security mechanisms. Hopefully I can talk the band director and her assistants into maybe doing a reveal at the end of next video. I hope this was an interesting build for you to watch, and I look forward to seeing you next week for the conclusion of it. Normally in the video, this is where I say, and now we're finished, and I show you the thing and I tell you about how I feel about it. It's not done. Now, I said at the beginning that I think I bit off more than I can chew. I have already put about 45 man hours into this thing after work. So coming home, working from 3:30 or so to whenever the sun goes down, and sometimes past that, and I am exhausted. There's no way that I can get it done in the week time frame that I normally have builds. So it's going to be a two-parter. So I'm going to cut it right here. You'll see the finishing work on it, and I may be able to get like a reaction from the band director and their assistants. But yeah, I think it's going to turn out really, really cool, but I can't finish it in time for this video. So it's going to be a to be continued, a cliffhanger, if you will, kind of fitting for what the build is. Maybe you will try and build something like this yourselves and bite off more than you can chew and realize that it's definitely a learning experience for sure. Yeah. Maybe you'll get some. Yay! And inevitably they're going to ask you, how'd you build part of this? You can give them one of these, tell them, much props. I need to finish editing this so I can go back outside and keep working on it. Stay tuned. Have a good weekend. Peace out. If you enjoy what I do here on YouTube and you want to see more builds like this one, please consider joining these awesome people listed here with me over on my Patreon to build a bigger, better, more creative community together.